Start my video here. Um, any other TAC members on right now?
Teresa's on.
Teresa,
Hello.
so we have quorum. The minutes from the prior meeting were attached to the invite. The TAC members, can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Mrs. Elaine, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
This is Teresa. I'll second.
Okay. Anybody opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. All right. Starting with some of the old business on the agenda. We talked the last meeting about the iPro. There were several metric reports that we asked for to see. Do we have any luck in securing those reports?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Leanna Trainer. I do have a report that I can share with you with some information from iPro as well as the DMS denials and the hearings data that you had requested. So I do have that for the group.
Okay. Will you send that to us so that we can look at it and review it?
Yes, sir. Where would you like me to send that to?
You can send it to my email, and I'll distribute it to the TAC member.
Would
Gotcha.
you like for her to go over it first? Kind of go
Yeah,
through
I'd like to see it and have any impressions or review what you've seen. But I'd also like to get a copy of it. I hear static. Somebody just put on the chat. All I hear is static.
Yeah, I think that's Aaron. But Aaron, we can't hear you. No. Oh, Leanne, you can also send that to Aaron, and she can get it out to the TAC members as well.
Do we know where that noise is coming from?
I believe it's from Aaron Vickers from the Kentucky Medicaid side of things. But she's the one who put in the chat, can you hear me?
I got it. I don't know, Aaron, if you can mute your line. There we go.
Leanna, she probably has given you access to share.
Okay, I had went ahead and emailed her and was just going to ask for the other email. Give me just a moment. I can go ahead and share my screen. I don't have the ability to share. I did email the report. Russ, I don't have your email. If you can provide that to me, I can email that to you right now.
Sure, it's Russ, R-U-S-S, .Ranallo, R-A-N as in Nancy, A-L-L-O, at owensborohealth.org. I don't know if I can share my screen or not, but we'll see here.
Okay, I got that going your way. And yeah, I'll try it again. I can't share my screen, but maybe give a moment for you to at least get that, and I'll be happy to discuss in detail what it says and kind of answer any questions that you may have regarding the data.
Okay, let's see, I just got it. Let's see if I can bring it up here.
Leanna, try to do it again because I got a text with Aaron saying that you were made a co-host, so you may be able to do it now.
Yeah, I can't. No, I don't have the ability to.
Nope, it still says it's disabled.
All righty then.
All right. Well, was there anything, anything in the report that you'd want to call out?
Well, I did the report on 3 different perspectives. So there's several avenues that these requests can go through. Of course, they come to DMS and we determine whether or not it should be approved to go to iPro. So there's a few aspects. There's data on the cases that were denied by DMS, as well as a breakdown as to why they were denied. I do have that broken out by MCO, and then also included whether or not those were medical necessity or administrative requests. And then from there, we have data on the cases that were approved to go to iPro. Again, that's broken out between MCO as well as what's administrative and what was medical necessity. I also included data with regards to the final determination by iPro, whether or not it was upheld, reversed, or if there was a modified decision on the case.
Okay.
And then we didn't have a whole lot of cases that went to hearings. Those are usually quite lower than the total amount that we get, of course. But I did pull that data for the hearings that we had received. We had received only 48, and at this time we only have a final order on one of those cases. So I did provide that data. And again, broke it down to show which MCO was involved. We do not have the data on that directly on which was administrative versus medical necessity, but we can cross-reference if needed, if you would like to see that breakdown on the hearings as well.
So what happens if, and so some clarifying questions. On the DMS denials, so that's the ones that didn't go, that were sent in, but either the denial, either they didn't appeal or there was a reason why it couldn't go to iPro, correct?
Correct. It has to meet certain criteria. So if we deny it on our end, it's because the request didn't meet the criteria to go to iPro for review.
Okay. And then the ones that are sent to review are the ones that went to iPro?
Yes.
And then the ones, so if something, it gets taken to hearing, but at the hearing level, the MCO drops it, and pays the claim, what happens? How is that reported a certain way?
We do not track those at the hearing level. We do track if it's gone to iPro, and if it's reversed by iPro, then we do get confirmation that that's been paid by the MCOs. And they also send out an updated EOP to the provider in question. The hearings right now, we only have one final order. So right now it may still be, that one may still actually be pending the final payment. Hearings tend to take a rather long time. And of course, with 2020, with COVID hitting the state, there were a lot of delays in getting the hearing scheduled and getting those orders approved.
So this data was calendar 2020 or state 2020?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The time frame for this report, was it calendar 2020 or state fiscal year 2020?
calendar,
calendar, okay.
yes.
So, yeah, and so I guess that clarifying question, so what we've experienced is the ones that we take to hearing, when it goes to hearing and and one of the MCOs in particular, when they realize we're gonna take it to hearing, it ends up getting settled and they end up dropping it. And we get the claim paid, but it's so we see that in a lot, or I would say the majority of the cases that we take to hearing. So that would not be accounted for, those ones that we requested a hearing, but the MCO then dropped it after, would not be in this report, right?
Correct. We only track it when it's pending and once the final order comes through. If the MCO decides to go ahead and overturn their denial and pay the claim, then we aren't tracking that as of now.
Okay. Okay. I will send the report out to the TAC and I'll ask them to review it. If we have questions, can we reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we will review it at our next meeting. Is that okay with the TAC members? Steve, Elaine, you guys okay with that?
No, good here, thanks.
Okay. All right.
Now, I do want to add just one thing. While we don't track that data on our side, we can have that pulled from our hearings branch, because they are required to track if something is withdrawn, so to speak. So I can get with that area if you would want to get the data for those that were withdrawn by the MCO after you had submitted your request. I don't know what the turnaround time would be. I'm at the mercy of what their process would look like, but I'd be happy to reach out to them and start gathering that for you.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Follow up on the anesthesia changes in the billing system. I wanted to make sure we had the right effective date. I had heard 2 dates and with some follow-up emails, and wanted to make sure that the payable modifiers on the CRNAs and the supervised service. I heard April in our last meeting, but I also I've gotten some emails from some hospitals saying they're being told July 1. Wanted to clarify with that to make sure that we can communicate it properly. And if we don't know today, if somebody could email us so that we can put it out to the hospital through the KHA communication, that would be wonderful.
Okay, yeah, I don't think anyone from DMS is on the phone that could verify that for you today.
Okay, that's fine. In our hospital, in the hospital association calls, we continue to hear about the incarceration data and the difficulties that the folks are having with that, and the inconsistencies and the difficulty to get correct payments. And I know we had talked about this at a couple meetings, and within the last 18 months or so, wanted to see if we had any update on where we are with that issue.
This is Leslie Hoffman. Actually, Lee is going to have to be the one to answer your questions. I'm guessing that was an intersection with APRIS. I'm not sure if that was where your information came, what you were asking for. So apologize. We've just had a few folks out for various reasons.
That's no problem. I think Lee talked about it last time we had an update, and so we can leave it on there and have next time. I think what we get from the jails is that patient, we know that patient's been released, but they're still in the system as incarcerated, and so the MCOs are denying it because they're incarcerated, but they're not really incarcerated, right? And so it's a pretty administrative process to try to get it fixed, and get the claim paid, and it's, you know, it's a lot of administrative work, and I know we brought this up before, and I know there was work being done on it, but I just wanted to get an update.
Okay, yeah, I can follow up with Lee on that when she returns, or somebody else in her area. I didn't know if you were interested in this. I was looking to see what questions might be on there today. Our last count on incarceration, which was yesterday, was at about 19,000. So significant number, small number within the whole population, but it's still a significant number, and I understand your concern. So I'll follow up with you on that, okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any questions there from other TAC members?
Nope, none here.
Okay. New business, we had a new hospital CEO that asked about, that was new to the state, that asked if there was an expedited clinical validation review process. And I told him no. He asked if we could bring it to either put it on as a discussion item, or to start the discussion to see if it's a possibility. What he remarked was he was from another state where they had a process similar to Medicare, where within 72 hours on a clinical validation, it was expedited and reviewed. What he's seeing in his hospital is that if you have a patient that clearly meets the criteria, but the MCO is denying that case, the only option you have is to take it to the iPro, and which takes months to appeal to the MCO, and then take it to the iPro to try to get resolution. And he's concerned with the current staffing issues and labor shortages that they have, that the ability to work those is difficult, and wanted to see if there's possibility to discuss a potential or start an expedited review process.
This is Angie. And Russ, I am having a little bit of difficulty hearing you.
Sorry. So let me see if I can turn up my thing. Is that better? So
Yeah, yes.
So essentially, we've got a new CEO to the state, and he's looking at the denial process and review process, and we don't have an expedited review the way Medicare does, where Medicare will look at something within 72 hours and give a determination. His comments were that it takes, if somebody meets criteria from the hospital side and the MCO denies it, the only avenue he has is to take it through the MCO process, then the iPro, which takes months and months and months. And with the staffing that he has now, he's being challenged with those resources to deal with that process, and he's asking if we can talk about an expedited review process.
Well, I mean, there are expedited reviews in certain cases. So I guess what would be helpful is for us to see some examples of what they're experiencing.
Okay.
Because if something is denied by the MCO, as you all know, there is that appeal process. It is described in the denial letter. And then if they still uphold it, you have the external review, and I understand that can go on a lot longer than we want it to as well. We are trying to target the medical necessity external reviews first before the administrative, but there are so many much more administrative denials, which means like claim, those types of things, than
Sure.
there are medical necessities. So sometimes those will get lost in the shuffle, but I'd be happy to look at any examples.
Okay, we can do that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Hey, this is Leanna Trainer. If I can ask just a clarifying part to that, are we talking about pre-service situations, or are we talking about post-service?
I believe he had both. Well, not pre-service. I think it was admissions to the hospital, but also discharges to post-acute.
Okay.
right, basic health plan, that's, we got the notice that's moved to January of '24, if I understand that correctly. The hospitals, the TAC, and I know the Hospital Association is more than happy to serve or provide input or review anything that DMS would like assistance on. Is there anything that we can do for you?
I don't think so at this point. I know that we will be revving it up here shortly to get ready for 2024.
Okay. There were two other items that I got since I did the agenda. One was, and I can connect this person with DMS. It was from a hospital in Louisville that said they're having a lot of difficulty getting home health agencies to take patients. Even though the home health agencies may be contracted with the agencies have said that they are, the payments are in arrears with several of the MCOs, and they're having a real difficulty placing a patient into home health in their service area. I'm not necessarily seeing that here in Owensboro, but it was reported, and I wanted to bring it up here.
Do you know if they have sent in this issue to DMS? Because I have not heard that there
I
are
don't-
MPOs and arrears for home health payment.
I don't believe so. It was on our call yesterday, Angie. So I will send you the correspondence that I got and
Okay,
then ask her to follow up with information with you.
okay.
And then the last one we got yesterday, I think on the iPro, and I'll have to get you examples where the initial denial that came through was for a coding issue, and the hospital is appealing it, but also appealing the medical necessity piece. And they're getting back the review from iPro that it's the coder's looking at it, not a physician's looking at it. And so I'm going to get you the examples. I asked for examples because I'm not sure that if the denial was, and so they've taken the position that they think it's not correct, that a doctor needs to look at it. But I don't know if the initial denial was for coding and they were appealing on the medical necessity piece of it, and how that syncs up and connects. So, but it was a concern, and I know we've talked about that concern before. And from my viewpoint, I think we've seen a change in that, where we were doing, clinical validations were being done by billers and coders, and that's no longer the case. We're seeing those all done by physicians. So, but this was a little different twist, and so I'm going to get that example and have them sent to you.
Very good.
Anything else from any of the TAC members?
No, nothing here, Russ. Thanks.
I don't think we have any recommendations. Angie, is there anything that you guys need from us or want to tell us?
Not that at this point that I don't. Deputy Commissioner Hoffman, do you have anything you would like to share?
Sorry, trying to get off mute there. Nothing specific. Sorry that we don't have folks on for you today, and I'm reaching out in emails right now to get somebody for assistance, just because I don't know how long we might have folks out. So just bear with us. We'll get you the information back.
And then we had to change this date. This isn't our usual date, so we usually have it on the last Tuesday. So I get it. It's okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The MAC meeting representation, I'll be able to attend the MAC and go over the meeting. Our next meeting is August 23rd, for the Zoom meeting again. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
Nope.
All right, I appreciate everybody's time. We will adjourn. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.